Listening to this podcast and getting angry, it's because you don't put that in there.
No fluff, no nonsense, real estate and
Okay,
mortgage.
Let's start back.
Welcome to Keys and Credit, the no fluff, no nonsense real estate and mortgage podcast. I'm Barb, your local lender.
I am Bill, the no bullshit realtor.
Today, we're going to chat about
Flipped homes, right? Do we got the title? What's the title?
when flips are just lipstick on a dumpster fire.
When flips are just lipstick on a dumpster fire. That's what we're going for, right?
That's what we're going
Yep.
for.
So today, this one, we're going to talk about walking into flip homes, what to look for, what to pay attention to, what to be wary of, right? Because there's a lot of flip homes that are garbage. They were flipped by somebody who watched HGTV for 3.5 minutes. They bought a house for $5. They put some paint on it. They put some lipstick on a dumpster fire, and they're trying to sell it for a couple $100,000, and they shouldn't be. Now, don't get me wrong. There's some good ones out there, right? I don't think they were yours. One of my clients bought a house in Cambridge. It was absolutely gorgeous, flipped by a professional, and it was fantastic. So,
What did they find? What was good about it?
everything
Compared to others.
Everything. So, devil's in the details. So, when you go into a flip house and you walk in and you see, like we were just talking about, a 1978 salmon-colored bathroom, a mint green backsplash in your kitchen, and then fresh paint and new carpet, and they call it a flip or renovated, you're in trouble because they have done nothing. Now, when you go into a house that's been flipped and you walk in and everything's been done, the trim on the doors connect correctly. You go downstairs and all the utilities have been replaced. All the major mechanicals have been updated. The roof's been done. I mean, it's actually been renovated by someone who knows what they're doing, say a contractor, right? Then you're walking into a good one. You can kind of see. But some of them you walk into and it looks like it's just a polished turd. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. They're just garbage. And we see them all the time. There's these programs where people will come in and they'll convince you, they'll do these yes tactics, they'll get you to say yes to certain things, and they'll get you to sell your house to them for dirt cheap. And this one happened a few weeks ago. We were looking with one of our clients. We walk into a house. We're not going to name names who bought it, but they bought it for, say, $140,000. We walked in 2 weeks later. They put carpet and paint in. They're selling it for $260,000.
What? 120,000?
$120,000. So they doctored the pictures. These buyers were absolutely pumped. They thought this was the one. This is our house. We walk in and you could tell the house is twisted. Underneath, there's still old plumbing from like the 1800s. I mean, it was terrible. The roof outside was like caved. I mean, the trusses were bent in, and
How can they doctor the pictures?
it's called Photoshop. I'm pretty sure Focal Point Media knows how to doctor pictures.
We don't do that. We don't do that.
Edit, delete. But
We do stretch reality, maybe like 10%.
10% is what we say. We'd like to stretch reality to 10%. But if you doctor pictures and do all that stuff, for one, there's a red flag for bad flip. And when we walk in with buyers that have already got it stuck in their head that this is their house, okay, this is the house that I want, this is the one we're going to go for, it's hard to talk them out of it, even though we can see all the crap that's been overlooked, all the stuff they're going to have to fix when they buy it, everything that hasn't been done, right? And you, on a lending side, think about that. When we come in, say we do an FHA loan, we walk into a bad flip, and the FHA inspector appraiser comes in, and they start catching some of this crap. Now we have to get it fixed. Well, this dirt cheap flipper is probably broke. They watch their YouTube
Or
video.
not going to want to fix it.
They're not going to want to fix it. They don't have the money to fix it. It's just icky.
I know. A lot of buyers do walk in with champagne glasses on, don't they?
What are champagne glasses?
They just love the house.
Is that
They
what
want
happened?
it. They like it. They love it.
That's-
They can't live without
there
it.
Like it, love it, can't live without it. But okay, so on some of the good flips. So when it comes to buyers, I don't know, looking for a house, we walk into a flip and they say, well, how do we know that this stuff's been done correctly? Okay. One of the biggest things is permits. We can go in and we can talk to the county, talk to the city, and see what permits have been pulled, if any have been pulled, for the stuff that's been done. Now, think about that. If you walk in and you see a wall's been moved, there's some new mechanicals downstairs, you can tell the plumbing's been redone. You go to see if permits were pulled, and nothing was pulled. Who did the work? Is it even legit? I mean, is your house
Well,
going to
yeah.
explode tomorrow?
If a contractor did it, they're for surely going to pull a permit. They don't
Yeah.
want to lose their license.
Well, that's just it. So if you find a legit one, all the permits will be there. You'll be able to see it. You'll be able to see who did the work, when they did the work. Sometimes you get the invoices. Most of the time, the work is warranted. All that stuff.
But an appraiser is going to pick things out if we're doing FHA, right? Or USDA or VA, or they're going to pick things out.
What happens if an appraiser comes in and we're in a polished turd or a lipstick dumpster fire?
Well, if the moldings aren't,
The trim's
correct.
connected.
Yeah.
That's not going to flag anything.
No.
Right? Okay.
But if carpet's missing, it's going to be an issue with all financing
What if
types because we
it's-
need floor covering.
Here's one. What if it's blatant covering of, say, mold, right? Because you can't hide water. In this state, you can't hide water. You can smell it. You can see it. So sometimes in these flips, they'll have a basement where it's concrete block. There's water intruding into the house. And instead of getting the foundation fixed, correcting the grade, putting gutters on, whatever they need to do, they'll paint it. They paint over it. And eventually this yellow stain will come through. That can usually happen within a few days. What if our appraiser sees that? Do we get in trouble?
They would probably call for a foundation specialist to review it, or have someone else come in because they're not gonna.
Now, say that happens and the seller says, you know what, I don't want to fix this correctly. Then what happens to our buyers?
They're
They
not gonna
lose
get
their
financing.
house. They lose their house, right?
Right.
Because whoever decided to polish a turd.
Well, right, because as a lender, we're always gonna, err on protecting our buyer.
Yep. And that is the hard part is too with representation, right? We always come back to representation. Trying to convince someone that their house that they absolutely love, they have it, need it, got to have it, whatever you're saying is, trying to talk them out of it. Be like, look, your foundation's going to be 25 grand. Your septic's going to be 30 grand. Your roof that they covered up with some shitty shingles is going to be another 20 grand. I mean, it's hard to talk them out of it when somebody does that to you. So it's kind of nice when a lender comes in and says you can't have it. We have to deal with the aftermath.
Right.
How would you go about buying a flip house? How would you go about buying the turd before it's polished, Barb?
Well,
Or how do you go about buying a dumpster fire before it's on fire or something?
you mean a house that needs some renovations?
Yes.
I can get them a renovation loan. With FHA or conventional, I can get them a renovation loan.
So an FHA a renovation loan is called what?
203K.
203K. It's not the price of the loan. It's the name of the loan.
Right.
So it's possible for someone to come in and buy a flip
Yeah.
house that needs to be flipped.
Correct.
Correct.
Yep. So if you're
They can flip it themselves.
let's just say you find a house that needs renovations, but you like the house and you're up for the renovations, you could get a renovation loan, whether it's FHA or conventional. We do both, right? You need to have kind of a good idea of what your renovation costs are going to be.
On
And
that part, can you use, and I know a guy, because Cody knows a lot of people to fix stuff. Has he called you about his house yet?
I've been meaning to do that.
Fucking Christ, Cody.
he's
but-
been busy working.
When it comes to construction loans, rehab loans, can you use the people that you know, or do you have to use a licensed contractor?
You have to use a licensed contractor,
Have
but
to
the
use a
people
licensed
you know, maybe a licensed
If
contractor.
they're licensed, but you can't do stuff yourself, right? You
Correct.
can't submit a bid to do electrical for $20 and have it approved by rate mortgage for your renovation loan.
Correct.
Right? Okay. So
Yeah.
it has to be licensed.
Has to be licensed.
Do you have
So-
to approve the renovations as you're doing them?
No. So you find this house. It needs to have
New furnace.
new furnace, new roof, new flooring.
Yep. It's
Okay.
just a big
Because
old
all the
project.
carpeting's gone and
Yep.
all the flooring's gone.
Sure.
So you need all this, but
It's
you,
a house
you
that
see,
Cody rented like 10 years ago.
You
Yep.
see the potential,
Sounds about
right?
You'd be surprised the shit I can retain.
So you see the potential. You need a new furnace, you need new flooring, and you need a new roof. So all of this, you have an idea. Well, okay, that's probably going to cost me about, I don't know, 30 grand, let's say. So you're like, you know what? I could do this. So you get pre-approved for the 203K loan. You then make an offer on the house. Your house is accepted. Your offer is accepted, I should say. The house is listed for $200,000. You offer $200,000. Your renovation cost is 30 grand. You're going to, if there's no structural changes, you don't need to necessarily have a HUD consultant out there.
Right.
But you should have an inspection. We're always going to encourage you to have an inspection. And then you'd hire a licensed contractor to come out and give you a bid to find out, is it really 30 grand or is it really 50?
And you need to make sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but you need to make sure that the improvements will add to the value.
Correct.
So your loan to value is correct.
Correct.
Right?
So you're going to have your contractor out there.
Yep.
They're going to give you a bid.
Yep.
Okay. You've already got your purchase contract. You're
And
buying
then?
it for 200,000. Your renovations are 30. You got your bid. We're going to then order an appraisal, and it's going to be subject to the completion of the project. So they're going to give us a value of the home after the project's all
The
completed.
appraiser is going to use the improvements
Correct.
that are going to be done to find the final value after all the improvements are done.
Correct.
Right?
So let's say this. Let's say I do roofing for a living, but I work for a company. I'm not a licensed contractor myself. And I tell you, I get approved for a 203K loan.
Yep.
And I tell you I'm going to go through this company. I end up just doing it myself because I can get the material through work for cost. I do it myself. It's all done. And then what?
Barb's going to kick your ass.
What? And then what? What happens?
Well,
Potentially, does the loan fall through? You don't get the house anymore? Or like,
No.
how does that work? Because you've already got the house. You've already done the work. What is the repercussion?
Right.
The
That's like a
contractor
good job, Cole.
is going to sign a contract saying, I'm doing all of this stuff.
So
right?
let's say I'm good buddies with the owner of my company that I work for, and he signed off on it. But I did it myself. And now let's say in this meantime, I get fired. So now I'm no longer good buddies with this company. The work is done. There's no certificate from a contractor. What happens?
That money's coming out
what
of your
it-
pocket.
Like not necessarily
Oh.
a scenario that you have done or what you will do, but what in that scenario, obviously it's not ideal and it doesn't happen often, but
Right.
what is that scenario?
It's
for
coming
the
out of your
buyer?
pocket. Bullshit aside, you're paying for it.
Well,
They're
So
not
do
going
you
give you
have
money
to
for it.
now hire someone else to come and do the certification and sign off on the work
There could
in order
be.
to make it legit?
So let's run through. So there could be, maybe you could have a different roofing company come in and inspect it, maybe.
so the appraiser is
Maybe?
going to come back in and they're going to do a final inspection and confirm the roof's done.
Okay.
Now, should we be doing that? Because we really kind of are now lying, right? Because we said that this contractor was going to do it, but yet
You're really far
you
away.
you have the experience of being the roofer. So I wouldn't suggest it. I'd probably wait for your project to be done and then maybe not be friends with our roofing company anymore.
That's-
Could your loan go into foreclosure?
No, because you fixed it.
Yeah, okay.
There'll be a solution.
So there's
there will be.
there's gonna
Yeah.
be a way to go around it. But
So, for example, I had a renovation loan up in Duluth, and they hired a contractor. The contractor said it was XYZ dollars. The scope of the work got much more than what he had bid. He got frustrated and said, "You know what? I'm not doing this." He brought his money back, plopped it on their table, and said, "I'm out." So they're now, so it's kind of similar to your situation, right? Because they need to have these renovations done because renovation loans, I mean, we don't give you like years to do this.
Right.
This isn't like a
A
DIY,
finite timeline.
you know, 5 years, no problem. No, you got like 6 months. We'll give you a little leeway, like it's winter in Minnesota and you need to side the house and it's negative 30. Cool. No, don't put up your siding. It's going to crack. Wait till May. That's fine. We'll extend it, but it needs to be done in a reasonable period of time. Reasonable period of time. We give you 6 months. You could probably extend it to a year. Okay. Because of weather here. So this particular case, her and her husband had to find another contractor, right? And then say, okay, it's this
Yep.
much money. And then, so now she got this money back from this contractor that she had given him the money to do the repairs. And he came and plopped it on her table and said, I'm out. She had to send that back to guaranteed rate. They put it back in the escrow fund, and then they hired a new contractor.
So there's a solution. There's
There
always a
is.
solution.
Yep.
So that's what we are. We're full-time problem solvers. So say you decided you wanted to be a dick and you're going to go roof your own house, burn the world down. Who cares? I'm going to do what I want. We'll figure something out. Okay.
Right.
Worst case scenario, you're going to have to borrow money from your mom, cover whatever. But rate, mortgage, they
They're
want
gonna-
to finance your house.
Yeah.
Right. They want to make their interest off your house. there'll be a solution, but do not, for the love of God,
Do it
go
yourself.
out and roof your own damn house when you're under a renovation or a flip type
Well,
loan.
because
you know?
that's the problem. A lot of people call me and say, "Oh my gosh, I want to buy this house. I'm super handy." I've watched all these,
Which is
DI
great. If you got
DIY
cash, go
shows.
buy your house with cash. If you got a conventional loan, go do it, and you can
Right.
renovate it as you're done.
I've watched all of these shows on DIY TV, right? And I want to renovate, and I want to do this, and I want to do my own bathroom. Well, then don't have the bathroom renovation. If your bathroom is
Those
fine,
ones turn into polished turds.
yeah.
Just saying.
Well, if your bathroom
They
is
do.
fine
They
and
do.
it would pass, just do the bathroom on your own. Don't include it in your scope of work for your renovation.
Yeah.
So if your roof is to answer back to the roof, if your roof is really fine and there still is economic life in it, but you know you want to replace the roof, well maybe, but it isn't called out on your appraisal and the roof is fine, but you want to replace it, maybe do that outside of your loan, right?
Get the loan first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then replace your roof.
Yeah.
Pull a permit.
Good to know.
Or maybe just call people and say, hey, can I do this? And when we say no, don't do it. Just
Yeah.
don't fucking do it.
So, so back to renovation loans. People will call me and say, "Hey, I really want to do this. I want 30,000 to renovate this home." Unfortunately, because we are giving you additional money, and setting it aside in escrow for you to be able to renovate this home, we're gonna want an uninterested party doing it, a third party doing it, so we can be assured that it's going to be completed.
Yeah, because what people forget too, when it comes to lending and mortgage and all that stuff, rate mortgage owns your house.
Right.
You give rate the mortgage.
Right.
Okay, they don't give you a mortgage. The way it goes, you give them a mortgage, and they are this entity behind you. They're the owner, and they want to make sure their investment is going to stay an investment and not a piece of shit or a dumpster fire.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So people forget that, well, I own the house. It's like you own, sure, on title, but they're the ones that bought it. So they're going to make sure that you're doing stuff correctly.
Right.
You know?
And
I
well,
mean,
and I want to remind people, as a lender, and as a homeowner, we encourage you to make renovations to your home. But if you're having to
Just make sure
borrow
you
thousands of
finish them.
dollars
finish them.
and we're putting it aside for you, there's a requirement. Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, they require FHA that it's done by a licensed
Totally.
contractor.
And they're taking the risk on it.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
at that point, you're not really taking much of a risk.
Because if we gave you 30,000, I mean, let's be real. Both husband and wife work 40 hours a week. How are you going to get this done within 6 months?
Seriously.
Because
That's-
there's not enough extra time. So
And
that's why
that's-
we say get a contractor. This is what they do day in and day out.
That's where the flip stuff comes in, because these people think they can do it,
Yeah.
and then they get in over their heads. They don't have enough money to hire somebody to do it, and then they try and sell it. They'll
Yeah.
say, oh, spend the last $400 we have on paint it, and sell it for $1 gazillion, and then we're in there picking this thing apart, trying to make sure everybody's okay. But since we're on the subject, let's get a construction loans. Okay. So a construction loan, can you do a construction loan on a manufactured house that's on land?
Yeah.
Yes, you can. Now,
Good to know.
good to know. I'm asking for a friend here. So when it comes to construction loans, if you're using the I know a guy process, okay, you just have to make sure they're licensed contractors, right?
Right.
Does it matter what the service cost? If it is an unreasonably low amount, let's say I have a buddy who does septic systems that owes me a favor, and
Oh, that's
you
fine.
okay. I was gonna say,
And it comes in at
if-
like $5,000 instead of
yeah,
10.
No,
yeah,
right.
exactly.
Fine.
If it's like, well, okay, it doesn't add up. Would that throw any red flags?
Yeah. No.
Okay.
That's fine.
And
That's fine.
so when it comes to that stuff too, it's inspected. So what
Yeah,
what
right.
rates
It still has to
rate mortgage
pass
going to look for?
inspection.
They're going to look for one, that it's a paid invoice by a licensed contractor, because then they have somebody to fall back on, and for two, that it pass its compliance inspection.
Mhm.
If it's good, compliant, and it's guaranteed warranted by whoever put it in.
Right. So they don't
cost you
care
$1.
what it costs. They just want to make sure it was done right.
Correct.
Because that's the risk.
Yeah,
Is that it
you're-
was done sloppy.
Correct. And we're going to get a compliance certificate, right?
Right.
Yep.
So then
Okay.
we're fine.
Good to know.
Yep.
Good to know.
Same,
Our
and that
friend will
goes-
be very happy
That
with
goes
this
with
information.
pretty much anything. So if the friend we're talking about, say he wants to be a general himself, so he's going to get a construction loan and he wants to hire out all these people, it's fine as long as they're all licensed contractors, right?
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have to pay himself. He can just line all this stuff up for himself,
Mm-hmm.
get it done. And then when it comes to the construction loan, do you like lock in the rate all the way to the
Oh yeah,
end
we can lock it in a year.
in a year?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the rates right now would be the same in a year because we have to refinance, once the construction is done, correct?
Okay, so let's back
Lay it
up.
out for me. Lay it out. Let's hear it.
All right. You can get a construction loan, and it's the interest only throughout the construction process.
Interest only payment?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Of the amount you borrowed to take out for the construction loan to build your home and do your well and septic and land. So construction loans, you're going to need 10% equity.
Mm-hmm.
So if we can do a construction loan where you're buying the land and constructing the new home.
10% equity or 10% down?
10% down.
Okay.
So, all right, let's use a scenario. I'm a big scenario. Okay, the land is 100,000.
Okay.
To build the house you want, it's 300,000. Now we're at 400,000.
Okay.
Okay. Within that 300,000 is the well and septic too. Okay. So your all-in cost 400,000.
Okay.
You're gonna need 10% down, so 40,000.
Okay.
Okay. We're gonna need to get an appraisal done that is subject to the completion of the home. If the appraisal comes in at 440,000, right?
Yep.
So you got 40,000 over. You only need 10% down off that 440, so you can use part of that appraised value towards your down. See what I'm saying?
No, that doesn't make any sense to me. So you start off at 400 grand, 10%
Your all-in
down.
is 40, right?
Okay, your all-in is
You're-
40. You're
yeah.
appraised at 440. Wouldn't it be another 4 grand
No.
because you're appraised at 440?
No, you can use that equity. So you've already got the 40,000.
So it knocks it down to 360.
No.
I'm so confused.
Well,
How do you use the equity?
we'll back up. Can I get the chalkboard
Back
up,
it
Bill?
up. Back it up. Back it up. Back it up. Okay.
Okay.
So our loan's
So-
400 grand. We're gonna put 10% down.
Yeah, right.
40 grand.
Right, but you've
Once
already
we're
got
done-
40%, 40,000 equity because you got a value of 440, right?
So
So you only need 4 grand.
So-
Once again, you got a 440.
they're not
value.
gonna go off the final value and make you pay another.
No, they are going to go off the final value. They're going to use that 40,000 that you have an additional equity from your all-in costs as part of your down. So really, if you have a 440 value, you're going to only need 4 grand down.
Oh.
See what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying. See, this is why Barb is good at what she does. Yep. So if you do this right, so if he put 40 grand down and that scenario happens, he gets money back.
Your loan to value is lower.
Loan to value is lower. So you don't get money back.
No, but you have to put less down.
We got to put less down.
Right.
But if he already put it down,
That's fine.
doesn't he get
As
it
long,
back?
well, could be. We'll talk numbers later.
This is all for a friend, just so he knows how the process goes. So, but anyways,
I
long
love
story short,
asking for a friend.
it's asking for a friend because we can't name names on this podcast,
No.
because we don't like to name names or
No.
look at the producer
Did-
as we're talking about him.
But did you understand where I was going
Yes.
with that?
Yep.
Value is
Makes perfect sense.
440. You've got that
So
40,000 equity because of the value. You don't have to put that.
you don't have to keep driving the
40,000.
post down. It's good. We got it. So if Barb will kick my ass, if say we have that 300 grand to build the house. So the guy I keep pointing at him. The guy we're talking about that needs this, he gets a septic done,
Yeah.
and he needs 10 grand. He pulls a draw.
Yeah.
Right. Pay that guy.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Does the friend own the property or are they
No,
buying
they
the
have to
property?
buy. It's the
Okay.
whole thing. The whole
Okay.
thing's being bought.
So the construction loan would assist then with buying the land
Mhm.
and then constructing the new home. So what one would do, they'd go under contract on the land they're buying. They'd make an
Yeah.
offer for it.
Yep.
They would get the cost of building whatever they're building, right? So we know what that is. We're going to get an appraisal done subject to the completion. We're going to find out what that value is, determine what their 10% down is,
Yep.
right? Then we're going to go to closing. We're going to set up an escrow account, right? And
So that will be funded and in an escrow
uh-huh.
and done. And then
Yep. So
The person we're
at,
talking about.
at closing, the first draw is going to pay the landowner that
Yep.
they're buying the land from, and probably permit cost.
Okay.
Right.
Yep.
Then there's going to be a second draw halfway throughout the process. It's going to pay the builder, and it's going to be, there's going to be draws.
So
There's 3 draws throughout that process.
Say this was a manufactured home. Would you just send it right to the manufacturer then?
Correct.
Okay. So they'd send you the bill for whatever upgrades and creature comforts that your second half may need. And you can edit that out if you want. It's just a conversation that we had. The guy that we're talking that might need whatever. So you would just send that to the manufacturer, right? And then they could complete it, send it, and that part's done.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Sorry, I'm being so specific, but this is a conversation you were supposed to have with you like 2 hours ago. Just saying. You don't have to use this. I'm just asking for you, dude.
Well,
This
and
is perfect.
anyways, on stick built, let's go back to stick built,
Sure,
meaning
sure.
traditional home build.
Mhm.
We're going to pay the land,
Yep.
right, at closing. We're going to pay the permits, right, because they're going to have permitting costs.
Yep.
In the process, though, when we were getting approved, the builder would have provided their plans and specs.
Sure. Yep.
Their sworn construction statement, which is going to line out what each of those things
So,
cost.
do you need all
right?
that stuff
and
before
the
you
builder's
close?
risk insurance. Yes.
You do. Okay.
Mhm.
So there's before you can just say, "Hey, this is what I want to do." You
Mhm.
need to line everybody up. Not everybody, but most of the people up.
Yeah, because you're
right?
going to have your sworn construction statement that's going to list out how much each thing's cost.
So say you're missing something.
windows-
Does the appraiser ask for anything, or is it the lender that will ask for something? Say you're missing. You got the land figured out. You didn't get
the construction lender's going to say, "Hey, what about your septic? You don't have
Okay.
one here."
All right. And
You know,
like
there's
the
a lot
builder
of-
didn't submit his insurance. They'll say, "Hey,
Oh yeah,
we need this." Okay.
you need to have builder's risk insurance.
Okay. All right. So there's a process, but it's doable
Uh-huh.
and you do it all the time.
Yeah,
Right?
I do.
Completely do. Yep.
Yeah.
So once it's done, say you get your home in place, your septic done, everything's done, your wells in. The guy we're talking about was the best contractor ever, saved himself hundreds of thousands of dollars. His wife thinks he's like the best dude on the planet. And then you refinance.
We transition that construction loan into end loan financing.
Transition.
Mhm.
It's not refinance, it's transition.
It's transition.
So throughout that process, does this guy we're talking about have to keep his credit and debt to income and everything the same all the way through that 12 months?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to take out any new debt.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So something to keep in mind too. What if, say, they have a car that might be broken and they need to replace it? Could they do that in the process?
Well,
long
you'd-
as it doesn't
you'd
mess
want to
with that
call your
income?
lender and say, "Hey, this is what happened. I hit a deer, and so I'm buying a new car, and it's going to be a $300 payment. Will that work?"
Okay.
Communication is key.
So it's possible. It's
possible.
not saying that if the car breaks, you're completely screwed because you're building a house. You just have to figure out what's manageable for your debt to income and what finances you're doing.
Right.
I retain a lot of shit, dude. It's crazy. Okay.
Anyways,
So
then when it's done, yes, we take that construction loan, we put it into end loan financing, usually a 30-year term. So throughout that process, it's going to be interest-only payments on that construction loan.
Yep.
Interest only, and
which
then,
is way cheaper than principal and interest, right?
right.
Yep. Just so it saves them a little bit of money. And then once it's done, it's done. There's no going back. It's just a regular 30-year mortgage
Yep.
on a piece of property, and they own it, and they're good, right? Okay.
Correct.
All right.
Good to know.
Did that help?
The friend will be very happy with that information.
Thanks for tuning in to Keys and Credit, where the only thing inflated isn't the market, it's your knowledge. If you found this helpful, share with a friend or leave us a review. It helps more than you think.
More than you can imagine.